Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make shower steamers. Shower steamers are essentially bath bombs, but you don't put them in the bathtub. You place them on the shower floor, and when the hot water hits them, they fizz and they release some aromatherapy into your shower. So they really aren't used for their skin benefits like bath bombs are. Really, they're just used for their aromatherapy benefits. You may already be familiar with my original shower steamer video where I showed you how to make a shower steamer specifically targeted for people who might be experiencing upper respiratory symptoms like coughs, colds, and sinus issues. And we used essential oils of mint, eucalyptus, tea tree, and some menthol crystals. And I get a lot of questions regarding that recipe about how to incorporate different types of fragrances if you didn't want to make one targeted specifically for upper respiratory issues, so just for other aromatherapy benefits or different fragrances. So today that's what I'm going to be sharing with you how to do. Essentially it's going to be a riff on that original formula, and I'm going to show you how to place different types of fragrances in there for different types of aromatherapy benefits. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step visual process and tutorial of how to put together these amazing shower steamers. And if you would like the full written recipe plus a full written detailed step-by-step tutorial that's available for you to download and print off, please head on over to my Patreon campaign. This one will be available as the August bonus recipe at the $7 level. I really hope you'll check it out. I'll put the link to my campaign in the description box below for you. At the $7 level, you'll be able to access every recipe and tutorial I have ever published over there on my campaign, including the original shower steamer recipe that's available at the $5 level. So there's so much to take advantage of. There's over 482 posts now. I've been posting weekly for 4 years, a little over 4 years. So there's literally hundreds of recipes and tutorials and lots of resources for you to take advantage of just at the $5 level. At sign up, we are also offering $5 off, $10 off, and 10% off coupon codes to my favorite suppliers like Makesy.com and OnlineLabels.com, making your sign up super well worth it. If you purchase something over at those suppliers using the coupon, you're pretty much negating the cost of your Patreon campaign. So it's really a great benefit for you. I hope you'll check it out. Again, I'll place the link in the description box below for you. We have a community now of almost 3,000 makers. It's a great way to connect with me and a great way to connect with other makers. All right, let's make some shower steamers. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and weigh off some baking soda. Now it's the baking soda and the citric acid combination that create the fizzing when the warm water hits it. So we're just gonna go ahead and weigh off the baking soda into this container. I've got a wire mesh strainer here just so that it can break up the clumps. It's not really necessary. You can do this all by hand. I just find this the easiest way to break up the chunks. So we're gonna go ahead and weigh off our baking soda. Now in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to use the bath bomb press to create perfect cubes. But I'll also be showing you that you can do this whole thing also by hand, and you can hand press these. And you don't need any fancy equipment to make this recipe, but I am going to demonstrate both ways so you can see what it looks like to use the bath bomb press. It makes a very professional looking product. All right. So then I'm just going to take my spatula and just kind of push the baking soda down through the mesh strainer just to get it all broken up. This way we're just working out all of the clumps. All right, I'll bring you back for the next step. All right, now that this is weighed off, we're gonna go ahead and weigh off our citric acid. We're just gonna set the baking soda aside and we're gonna weigh off the citric acid into a separate container. I like to combine my citric acid last in in bath bomb and shower steamer type formulas, because this way we don't cause a reaction when we start to add in the alcohol and any other like water-based ingredients that you might be adding in. If you add the citric acid in last, you typically won't have any of those issues. So we're going to go ahead and place the citric acid into a separate container. And then we're going to go ahead and set the citric acid off to the side, and then we're going to weigh off the rest of the dry ingredients. All right, so to this container, we're going to be adding in the rest of the dry ingredients, which include cream of tartar, cornstarch, and kaolin clay. The combination of these are going to add to the hardness of your shower steamer, which is important because you want the shower steamer to dissolve slowly in the shower and last, you know, for most of the shower. So we're going to go ahead and weigh off the cream of tartar first. This actually does add to a little bit of the foaming action as well, cream of tartar. So you'll get a little bit of like fizzing and foaming, not much, but it does contribute to that a little bit, and it really does help with the hardness. Okay, and then next we're going to be weighing off the cornstarch. If you wanted to, you could just use no cream of tartar and replace the cream of tartar with more cornstarch. I would not consider using more clay than what I've added in this recipe. If you use too much clay in a bath bomb or shower steamer type formula, then your shower steamer or your bath bomb can actually crack because it can get too dry. And clay absorbs moisture. So you have to be careful with the amount of clay that you're adding. So you can interchange the cornstarch. You can use cream of tartar instead of, or you can use cornstarch instead of cream of tartar if it's just a little bit too expensive of an ingredient to find, or you don't have any on hand. You can just use cornstarch. But again, I would not substitute clay. The last ingredient we're going to be adding in is some kaolin clay. Again, this is just going to help to create a really hard and long-lasting little shower steamer. It's really important to get your measurements just accurate on a shower steamer or bath bomb recipe, because a little bit too dry and a little bit too wet can cause issues with your product sticking together, forming, staying together. So you want to make sure you're measuring very accurately. All right. Once all these dry ingredients are weighed off, you're going to go ahead and set this aside, and then we're going to weigh off the wet ingredients. So right now you should have a container of baking soda, a container of citric acid, and another container of the rest of the dry ingredients. Set all these three aside, and into a smaller beaker we're going to be weighing off the wet ingredients. The wet ingredients are going to combine the dry ingredients and form sort of like a wet sand consistency. That will make more sense when we move along here. So we're going to go ahead and add in some polysorbate 80, and I find this to be a necessary ingredient when making bath bombs or shower steamers. However, you don't have to use polysorbate 80. I use it because it emulsifies with the oil. So we're going to be adding in some other oils here, and this will help to emulsify the oil when the water hits it, so you won't have a slick shower floor. It's just going to combine and wash down the drain. You can use oil in place of the polysorbate 80. Again, it's just not my preference because I feel like that makes a slick shower floor. Next, I'm going to be adding in some essential oils of lavender and rosemary. Now, this is going to be a very calming, soothing, yet also uplifting blend of essential oils. You can use any blend of essential oils that you like for the most part. You just want to make sure that it's not going to be something that can irritate the bottom of your feet if it comes into contact with your skin. So lavender is very calming. Rosemary is great. Rosemary also has a cooling sensation, and I love this scent profile. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my blend. Now your shower steamer is going to take a lot more fragrance or essential oil than a bath bomb. This is why this would not be suitable in the tub. So you want to make sure if you decide to sell this product that you are definitely letting your consumers know that it's inappropriate to take a bath with this amount of fragrance oil or essential oil. I usually just put a warning label on my shower steamers that says not intended for use in the bath. It's like a little warning sticker that I've made. So you can do something like that. You just want to make sure people are aware that it's not a bath bomb, because this amount of rosemary, granted this is going to go through the whole recipe. We're making lots of shower steamers here, but even a little bit of rosemary could be, you know, if you go over the usage rate by just a little bit, it can be irritating, and we're definitely using more than I would use in a bath bomb recipe. So we're just going to go ahead now and add in our lavender. So the polysorbate 80, the lavender, and the rosemary are the wet ingredients for this formula. We're just going to go ahead and give this a good stir. Make sure that's combined. It smells so good. Really, really nice combination. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is bring back the baking soda. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer my baking soda into my KitchenAid mixer bowl. If you are not using a KitchenAid mixer bowl, just a large mixing bowl, and you can do this all by hand, works fine. To this, I'm going to be adding in some mica. This is also another reason why I like to use polysorbate 80, is it helps the color to not stick to your shower floor. So it's going to pick up the color and the oil and make it go down the drain. So that's why I like it. We're using Jam Session Purple Mica. This one's by Nurture Soap, my favorite. And then to this, we're going to be adding in some rubbing alcohol to combine the mica with the baking soda. I'm using rubbing alcohol here because it doesn't contain any water. This is 99% rubbing alcohol, and this will help dampen down the baking soda and mix in the color. All right, so in goes my rubbing alcohol. And then I'm actually going to take this over to my KitchenAid mixer and get this really nice and mixed up. All right, so here it is mixing up. So we're just going to continue to mix this on low until the baking soda is completely purple and it looks damp, like you can kind of see in the middle. We want it to look just kind of damp, like a little bit like wet sand. All right, so now it's time for the next step. As you can see, my baking soda is all the way purple and looking just slightly damp, but it's mostly dry. It's dry feeling to the touch, just slightly damp from that rubbing alcohol. We're not trying to make it super wet at this point. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in the small container of cream of tartar, kale and clay, and the cornstarch, and we're going to mix this up to combine. All right, once all your dry ingredients are incorporated in well, you should see a good powdery blend like this. It should feel pretty dry. Again, just slightly damp from that rubbing alcohol, just so that we don't kick powders up everywhere. Now we're going to go ahead and add in our essential oil and polysorbate 80 blend. We're going to turn this on low. Of course, you can do this all by hand with just a whisk. We're going to give this bath bomb mixture some time to mix up and combine with the wet ingredients. Alright, so the wet ingredients are now totally combined. As you can see, the mixture is darker in color because it's more damp now. And now it's time to go ahead and add in the citric acid. So again, I like to add the citric acid in last, just so we don't cause anything to react. And also, for some reason, it really helps to form the bath bomb when you're molding it by hand or putting it into a press. I tend to have less issues with cracking and sticking and things like that. So we go ahead and add this in last. I just wanted to also take a minute to explain to you that bath bombs and shower steamers are super finicky and they're very dependent on your environment. So if you live in a humid environment, this recipe might need some tweaking, meaning you might need to reduce some of the wet ingredients to make this recipe work. And if you live in a super dry area or climate, you might need to reduce some of the dry ingredients in this formula. Depending on where you live, you may need to adjust this recipe a little bit so that they hold up when you mold them and you don't get any cracking or bubbles or warts on your shower steamer. Alright, so we are just about ready to press these shower steamers, and I wanted to just show you that I've moved everything over to just this like dishwashing pan, I guess. But you can kind of tell when it's ready to go when your mixture looks like this. And wet sand is a term that we use if it sticks together like wet sand. You don't have to squeeze very hard and it can form and hold. That means you're ready to go ahead and press. Now, wet sand is a subjective term, so really if it looks kind of powdery like this and it can move around and it's not super wet and you can pick up a little bit and squeeze it, then you're ready to press. All right, so first things first, I'm going to show you how to use the bath bomb press to make a shower steamer. So these are going to be about 3 ounce cube shaped steamers. So this is the base, goes like this. And then what I like to do is put my tray on the scale, and then that way I can weigh off exactly 3 ounces. There we go. So that's 3 ounces. And then we're just going to take it over to the press. This has a top that you put on it, like this, and then we're going to take it over to our press. Alright, this is kind of hard to get a great angle in my workstation because there's a lot of equipment here, so I'm just going to try to show you this the best I can, but you're going to go ahead and place it into your press. This has a toggle here, and then another toggle here. Both of them need to be engaged before it will press. And that should do it. So let's see what it looks like. And there you go. You've got a beautifully pressed shower steamer. And I'll go ahead and press a few more for you. All right, I've pressed quite a few. I'll show you what those look like in a minute, but I also wanted to show you what it looks like to press these by hand. I'm just using this stiff plastic Milky Way mold, and they're little Celtic hearts. So you can use whatever you want, but you want to make sure that the mold is, you know, not super flexible. You want to be able to press the mixture into there rather hard. So I'm going to go ahead and start placing some mixture into these parts, and I'm just kind of putting it in loosely right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and get them all pressed in. So you want to make sure you're just really firmly pressing down on the mixture and getting it into the little cavities here. And I know that there are lots of like actual bath bomb molds on the market that you could use as shower steamer molds. You just want to make sure that you can get a flat side, like this is going to be the bottom of the mold, so this heart would sit flat on the shower bottom. Okay, you just want to make sure you're getting it nice and firmly pressed in there. Okay, now let me show you how this works. So in this case, it's pretty easy because this is all on one little tray here. So this is how I'm going to do it. To release these from the molds, all I'm going to do is place my tray like this on top. I'm going to grab a hold of the mold, the edges of the mold with my hands, and then I'm going to flip it fast. And they've already released from the mold. I'm just going to slowly lift up. And there you go. So as you can see, these do hand press very, very nicely. So you don't want to mess with these too much. You just want to kind of allow them to set up before you do any moving around of this type of one, and let them get nice and dry. I'll bring you back. We're going to do some decorating on the tops of the cubes, and I'll bring you back for the next step. Alright, so the shower steamers are set up. They've been setting up now for probably about, a half an hour or so, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can decorate the tops of these. This is a totally optional step. You don't have to do this part, but I just like to make mine look a little bit a little bit more fancy, I guess. So all I have here is a little bit of laurel green mica mixed with some Super Sparkles mica, both from Nurture Soap, and then a little bit of rubbing alcohol combined in here to make it look like you want it the consistency of like a thin paint. So we're just gonna go ahead and decorate the top. The first thing is I'm gonna take this little pipette. I'm just gonna give this a good stir. The sparkles like to go down to the bottom of this because they're heavier than the green mica, so I'm trying to keep it well mixed. And then I'm just gonna take this little pipette and go across this way. Okay. I just love the look of that. So this green and purple is just, you know, representative of the lavender, also rosemary essential oils added in. I just think it gives us a nice touch. So then I'm just going to take my paintbrush and just, this isn't really a paintbrush, this is actually a makeup brush, but I'm going to test that over here. Yeah. And I'm just going to get some on the end of my brush here and hold it over the top and just kind of flick it down and give it a little bit more texture, I guess. And there you have it, everyone. That is how you make some beautiful, long-lasting aromatherapy shower steamers. I hope you liked this video. I really hope you try this formula out. If you do like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please leave some comments or questions below. Share this video with a friend, and why not subscribe to my channel. All right, everybody, bye. Catch you on the next video. Keep shining.